Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Anderson, and I serve as the Avid and Post-Secondary District Director for ECISD. I also have raised two daughters, and they have attended ECISD schools as well. So I'm very passionate about empowering ourselves as parents, ourselves as educators, and empowering our students. So let's get started. The time is now. If you're watching with us today, please tweet out or post to Facebook, however you feel comfortable getting social. Hashtag ECISD emPOWERed so that we can capture a larger audience, share what we're doing, and then also just give acknowledgement to those of you who are investing your time and efforts. It has been a pleasure this year to work with this amazing team. I know that I feel empowered as an educator as well as a parent. And I appreciate all the work that every single one of these ladies has put forth throughout this year. I can't believe we're at our last session. I can't believe we are already completed another year of school. I hope that everyone that has been watching or is watching is feeling empowered. Please know that if you're just now joining us, we have all of our sessions recorded, so go back and watch those. The purpose of us getting together is that when we were talking long before school started, we knew that we wanted to make student success, every single student, our priority. That's a big task. It can't be done alone. It has to be done by aligning the work because support from home and school, they need to work together and in tandem. We also understand that student success does not mean just academics or just behavior or just anything. It means the whole kit and caboodle. Everything about your child and your child's life or environment matters. So with no further ado, as the time is now, our focus for today, Amanda Lopez will share some knowledge from 7 Mindsets about the time is now. We're going to have the privilege to hear from Jennifer Todd Casas, the author of the book, Raising Digital Leaders, and Are We Ever Raising Digital Leaders? How can we do that? Oftentimes we try to go to our parents about parental advice or other matriarchs or patriarchs of our family or our community, yet no one has ever quite raised children in the digital world we live in now. So we are excited to hear from her and read more about these things in the book that she's written. Chelsea Reyes will also guide us through using Naviance as a resource to be able to empower our students to plan out their course of academics in high school, their course in life, their course in career, college, and or military. And then Lauren will close us out with some final thoughts and also refer you back to, if you have not received the book, tell you how to do that. So with no further ado, the time is now. Amanda Lopez, take it away.
Hello again, everyone. I'm happy to join you once again to talk about the time is now. So we've talked about our 7 mindsets throughout this year, and we're on our final one. So the time is now is what it sounds like. Now is the time to take action towards all those things that we've dreamed big about. We've made some plans. We are connected with other people. We're 100% accountable. All these awesome ideas and things that we want to do. Now is the time to harness our power of the moment and take purposeful action. So the simple fact that our power to act and make an impact exists in this moment, right now, today. So we can't change the past. The future hasn't happened yet. So we must recognize our only path toward happiness, fulfillment, and meaning is to take purposeful action in the present toward creating the life of our dreams. So let's dive a little deeper. What does this mean? The time is now. The first tenet is to embrace every moment. And this is exactly what it sounds like. One measure of our lives is how we feel moment to moment. To what degree do we experience positive emotions like joy, love, gratitude, and empathy? When we embrace every moment, we squeeze the most out of experiences and live lives of greater joy and happiness. We must seek circumstances and moments that create joy and memories. Even in difficult times, we can experience love. While sad maybe or experiencing a challenge, we're still able to add meaning and richness to our lives. The next part is get in the zone. When we act out of anger, jealousy, or resentment, we almost always get it wrong and cause more harm than good. The key is to recognize when we're out of sorts, stop taking action, and figure out a way to get in a better state of mind. When we get to do this and get in our zone, the actions we take are much more effective and result in a far more positive outcome. This doesn't say that anger isn't justified or appropriate, such as when reacting to something like discrimination or bullying, but the key is to think before we act in all cases and to get in the zone and channel that energy and channel that focus into something positive. The third part is let yourself be vulnerable. When we're vulnerable, we're in a heightened state of emotion or energy. Whether facing a fear, taking a risk, or expressing deep emotion, our senses come alive and we really are at our best. Many people don't allow themselves to be vulnerable because they see it as a sign of weakness. However, allowing oneself to be vulnerable shows great strength. The greatest moments in our life were when we were most vulnerable. Think about the first time you rode a bike, introduced yourself to a future friend, or you took maybe the game deciding shot in a basketball game. To become great, we put ourselves in positions in which we are vulnerable and step out of our comfort zone. And the fourth part of the time is now is act with purpose. While action is significant, the actions we take align with our dreams are the most powerful. First, they're part of who we are and matter to us more, so we try harder and work to overcome more when taking them. Second, these are steps directly towards our dream, giving them a greater impact on the overall quality of our lives. Ask yourselves about the actions you're taking. Is this action helping bring me closer to living my dreams? So here, this slide should look very familiar to you all. These are some do's and don'ts for the home. So when talking about the 7 mindsets and talking about the time is now specifically, here's some do's and don'ts for you. So do encourage your child to discover what motivates them and makes them feel powerful. Tapping into these feelings and knowing what tools they might use to get in a zone and perform at an optimal level is a win-win for both parents and children. Talking with them about times where they felt their absolute best and figuring out what was unique about those moments is a great way to help them get back to that feeling. For some children, it's a song or a routine that makes them feel great. For others, the memory of a time they felt powerful is enough to think back to and motivate them. Do celebrate and support action plans in your home. When your child comes to you with a plan of action for anything, to exercise more, spend more time on homework, create a new idea, we want to applaud that effort because the time is now is all about taking action. As parents, we are part of our child's dream team, and our encouragement of them and their dreams is paramount. Helping them find their purpose, what truly makes them happy, is part of the fun. And do encourage vulnerability. That emotional state brings with it a heightened sensitivity and access to moments of greatness and triumph. Vulnerability is invigorating, and every great dream requires a combination of energy and great enthusiasm to persevere through the difficulties and challenges. So let's talk about some don'ts. Don't let regrets pile up in your life or talk excessively to your children about all the things that you wish you had done. It's important for them to see you taking a proactive stance, not dwelling on the past, but looking at what you want to do and not regretting the things you haven't done yet, but what you're going to do in the future. And don't focus your energy on time on fears. Rather, find ways to overcome your own fears so that your children are inspired to do so as well. Fear prevents you from taking the actions necessary for success. People who succeed in life know that great rewards exist beyond their conquered fears, and therefore work constantly to overcome them. So this is a review, just in case. It's been a while since we talked about all 7, but the 7 mindsets are everything is possible, passion first, we are connected, 100% accountable, attitude of gratitude, live to give, and today's topic, the time is now. So I'm putting these back on the screen for you all to remember which is one that you created, that you identified with really well, that you're like, yes, this is the mindset for me. Maybe there were 3 or 4 of them. Maybe you love all 7 of them. But think about those mindsets. Take a moment to think of one of them that you really connected with personally. And now I'm going to ask you, while thinking about the different mindsets, the time is now to be vulnerable. So, step one, we have a challenge for you this week, this month, to close out the 7 mindsets. Yours might be connected to several, it might be connected just to the time is now. But the step one to being vulnerable is to identify your fears. So, people often limit themselves by their fear. Fear of doing something prevents you from taking the actions necessary for success. For example, if you're scared of speaking in public, yet getting up in front of people would be an essential part of the job you want, or maybe a project you want to work on, it's going to be important for you to identify that fear of public speaking and then figure out a way to move forward, which we'll talk in a second. So, people who succeed in life know great rewards exist beyond the fear, and therefore they work constantly to overcome them. Some common fears and insecurities can hinder our progress in life, and we want to think about how we can identify those and then overcome them. So, for example, this one might be more relatable for some people, being afraid of seeing the doctor. The way to flip that is, I know this could be a problem, but it's important for me to stay healthy throughout my life. Some more common fears are meeting strangers, failure, commitment. Some people, it might be something like public speaking, as we mentioned, or needles. Some people have a fear of heights, fear of making mistakes. Some people don't want to drive. Some people don't like asking for help. There's all different kind of common fears, and then people have very specific fears of their own. And the reason we want you to identify what some of your fears are that are getting in the way of you taking action right now today. So, thinking about dreaming big, is there some fear that's getting in the way of me going for the thing that I want to do? And then once you've identified that fear, it's time to flip that switch. So, coming up with a statement you can say to yourself to help overcome this fear. So, for example, with our public speaking example, public speaking is critical to my success in life. All my dreams come true on the other side of fears, and I'm unwilling to let this fear hold me back any longer. I will begin talking in small group settings, and this will help me get closer to my dreams. So, your challenge from us is think about that big dream that you have, that big goal. It may be what some other people might not consider a big goal. It could be, I'm just going to get up and speak in front of 10 people. That might be your big goal. And how am I going to flip that switch to get there and really make it happen? Because the time is now to go for our dreams. So once you have identified what is going to be your time is now moment, how are you going to use this mindset to help you this month? We want you to share it with us. Tell us all about it. Use the hashtag SEL Show and Tell, hashtag ECISD SEL, or the hashtag ECISD Empowered. The 7 mindsets are not just for students, they're for parents, community members, staff members, everyone, to improve the quality of their lives. And so we really hope that by sharing this with you, you're able to think of something that you've been wanting to do and you've just been, for whatever reason, delaying taking action on it. For much everybody, it's been wonderful getting to know you, even though virtually, over this last year. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi there, friends. This is Lauren Tavares, your ECIC Director for Digital Learning, and we're super excited about what we have planned for y'all today for this portion of emPOWERed. So throughout the year, we have been learning new and different ways, just ideas for helping our students become digital leaders. So as we raise digital leaders, whether you're a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, family friend, whatever the case may be with our students, just ways to think about it a little bit differently. And so today, with this being our final emPOWERed, we do have a very special guest. We are going to be learning with somebody that's going to join us. So I want to share this first before we meet our new friend. And so if you are interested in reading and learning more, and again, this is the last emPOWERed, but that doesn't mean the learning stops, right? These are going to be available online, and so you can share this with anyone that you think would benefit. we do have books that are available. And so we've got a few more copies left. We've been sending those out throughout the year. So thank you to those of you that have requested yours. But this is a really great book, and it shares a lot of information. If you missed any of our emPOWERed sessions and you plan to go back, it's good to have the book because there's so much more in each chapter than what we could actually share during our recording. So you are able to scan this QR code now, submit your information, and we will send to you a copy of Raising Digital Leaders, or feel free to type in just that bit.ly website right there, and it will take you to the form as well. So 2 ways that you can request a book from us. Our purpose and our goal is to empower you. We also want to add a resource to your family library as a parent. So make sure you take advantage of those things. And so getting to the exciting part for today, we have invited Jennifer Casatod. She's the author of Raising Digital Leaders. She's going to share a little bit with you, just kind of wrapping up the book. And she is an incredible leader in the work that's being done to help families with helping their students interact online. We've talked many, many times throughout the year in our emPOWERed sessions about the importance of instilling those skills in our students to be able to navigate and interact socially and academically online in the digital world that they're facing more and more, right? More and more things are available to them online. So I am excited to introduce to you and to welcome Jennifer Casatod to share a little bit with us and her thoughts about raising.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Casatod, and I am so grateful that you've picked up a copy of Raising Digital Leaders and are engaging in some courageous conversations with other peers around the content of the book. A little bit about me. Several years ago, when my daughter was in grade 10, she was asked at a job interview, "What social media are you on, and what will I learn about you if I go there?" And although the question should not have shocked me, and in fact, we should have gone over that question, the question really did shock me because it wasn't one that we had prepared. And this is way before COVID, and I was in the other room. It was a Skype interview. She was being asked this question online. Surely now tech is ubiquitous, and lots of kids are being asked questions like that over Skype. At the time, however, I remember thinking, this is a bit of a mom fail for me. You see, I had spent lots of time telling my child what not to do online, and I know that I never really mentored her around what she could or should be doing online. That moment of realization led me to so many other moments. It led me to meeting some incredible other kids whose parents had mentored them really effectively and who were leveraging social media in ways that I had never even thought of. It led me to writing my first book called Social Media, Moving Students from Digital Citizenship to Digital Leadership, a book whose target audience was educators. It led me to going across the United States and Canada to present to educators everywhere around the concepts around that book on digital leadership, essentially how we might empower our students to use technology differently, to learn and share learning, to support causes that are important to them or inspire others, and to make the world a better place. And it was from a definition that my friend George Couros had come up with, which was digital leadership being using the vast reach of technology and social media to improve the lives, circumstances, and well-being of others. And I thought, wow, that's something I had never thought of before. And so when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at start to change. And the more I looked and listened to what students were doing, I started to realize this technology thing is more complicated. When we say kids these days with disdain, when we only approach technology from a fearful approach and a fearful narrative, we're kind of missing out. And so after a while, people would ask me, well, what do you have for parents? So I started to present various workshops for parents, and then more and more workshops for parents. And Raising Digital Leaders was born out of my experiences as a mom, my research. I had done a master's in curriculum and technology with a focus on social media and education. And then the experiences that parents from all around the world were talking to me about. And so Raising Digital Leaders is my attempt at putting down the ideas, experiences, research strategies that might help you as a parent navigate some of these conversations within your own family. Is it all comprehensive? Absolutely not, because technology is changing all of the time. My hope for the book, however, is that there is enough there to support you as a parent. I do have complimentary chapter resources at jcasatod.com, which I'm changing and updating all the time. And I also try to support parents through my Instagram account, Raising Digital Leaders. The point being, we need to really support one another with courageous conversations. Every time a parent said, my child is doing this, thinking she or he was the only one, I hate to tell you, your child is not the only one. So recognizing that we have this shared experience that our parents never had because they never grew up with technology is really important. Number two, recognizing that we cannot parent from a fear stance, that it doesn't work. It only creates mistrust. And that certainly if something goes wrong, you need to have a really strong relationship with your child. That's an important concept and ideology that I bring within the book. And thirdly, I just really hope that this book creates opportunities for conversations among communities such as you. And I'm always just an email or a direct message on Instagram away. I look forward to connecting with you and answering any questions that you might have. And certainly, I hope that I have inspired some conversations among your friend groups. There's a book club package on my website, jcasatod.com, where I'd love you to go. And even if you don't want to buy the book, I think the questions are enough that you can get together with a few other people and have these conversations about what works best for you, what strategies really work, and how you can move forward together as a community. Because that cliche or that old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, it truly, truly does. And that village consists of your child's administrators and school, our community, parents, and sometimes us advocating towards tech companies to make sure they're doing right by our kids. Thank you, and stay in touch.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer, so much for sharing those thoughts with us, sharing that information, and of course, for providing Raising Digital Leaders as a guide for families. So this is definitely something that throughout the last year and a half, I'd say 2 years now, we have gotten feedback from parents, from guardians, aunts, uncles, all of those that support our students, asking for help. What do we do? How do we do this? And so this has served as an awesome guide throughout the year as we have built and created and shared emPOWERed with our families. So we really appreciate both that and your being here. So again, y'all, if what you shared caught your attention and you are interested in your own copy of Raising Digital Leaders, we would love to give you one. We'd love to send you a free copy. So if you could, if you are interested, scan the QR code here or use the URL link and give us your information so we can get that book to you. That's it, y'all. That is the end of our emPOWERed session for April, but also for the year. And so what we want is for you to help us. We want to continue to create opportunities that meet the needs of our families. We want it to be what you're wanting and what you're looking for. And so we just, again, really appreciate the feedback we got in the past from families letting us know that they needed help and they were interested. But then where do we go next? We use your feedback, we take your guidance, and we will build based on that in the upcoming years to come. And so if you will, this is a different QR code. Typically we do that so that you could pause this video if you're watching this after it's recorded live, and you can scan that with your cell phone camera. Cell phone cameras have a QR code reader built in, so just scan that, click on the website that opens up, and a Google form is there, wanting to know if you find this useful. If you don't, what could we do better? And so please, please, please give us that information, so that way we meet what you're needing, and it's what you're looking for. Thank you for a great year. Please share this with others that maybe have not gone on the emPOWERed journey with us. The awesome thing about all of this being available online is that really you could start whenever with us. And so all of our session recordings, all of the resources we have shared, they can all be found on the ECIC website. So EctorCountyIC.org. If you go to the top and click on for families and students, you're going to see a link that'll take you straight to our emPOWERed website. And so on that website, again, you can start from the beginning, and work all the way through the year, or you can pick and choose. What do you want to learn a little bit more about through those recordings and those resources? So just thank you for the opportunity to grow and learn with you guys. And we are looking forward to the work that we will continue to do together. And also one last thank you for the support that you give our students, and for looking to be empowered to be a better support to them. We appreciate y'all.